Hello and welcome to our next session on listening. I hope you're not getting sick of listening to me because you would have failed at this session in particular, because it's all about listening to another. We know it's difficult to listen. We know it's difficult to find somebody who listens well. But I'm sure if I asked you, can you call to mind those people whom you feel listened to you well, you would be able to name at least a few. But those few people really left a mark on you. They might not have done much else for you, but because of the way they listened to you, you will forever treasure them. You will hold them close in your heart. You will remember them. And those people will stand out. And that's the person that you are asked to become as well. Because when you learn to listen to other people, when you give that gift of yourself to the other people, you are also looking after yourself. Because in the end, you are living the gospel. You are becoming God for others. And that means that you can sleep well at night. You can look back over your day and say, well, Lord, I've done what was mine to do. I fulfilled the gospel. I tried to love. And I did it by trying to listen to the people around me as best as I could. So what does it mean to listen to another? It means to give them undivided attention, to focus on them, to pay attention to the person in front of you. And that means that not all settings are suitable for that. We have to make a judgment call and say, well, look, you trying to share your life story with me 10 minutes before I celebrate my next Mass, and when I have to do this, that, and the other, is probably not the right time. I won't be able to give you that attention that you deserve and that you need. So let's make time. So for those most important moments of our life where we need to communicate that deeply with our loved ones, with somebody we work with, we need to set aside a specific time in a setting that will minimize those distractions I talked about, so that actually I can be fully attentive to you, so that you can get the attention that you need and that you deserve. Because this is important and you matter to me. So let's clear away distractions. Let's create a space and a time that is suitable for this. And that's tough. And we know that people who are easily distracted, people who are constantly looking at their phones, even if you try to share with them something important, or during meetings when they don't pay attention to you, they're just writing or doing whatever else they have to do. Well, you know that the next time round you will not be choosing to go to them to share anything of importance. You would be foolish if you were to do it, because we will be put off. I will not share deeply with somebody who is unable to listen to me and who shows to me by their actions that they couldn't care less what I'm actually saying. So it's important. Remember, your focus is on this person. So if you have 100 other things to do at house, if you need to do your cleaning, your washing up, your cooking, telephone conversations, booking holidays, all sorts of wonderful things, that is probably not the right time to have a serious conversation and to give that undivided attention to somebody else, if you want them to feel that they are being listened to. So show an interest in the person. Well, what are you going through? I'm interested. Paying attention to the person's feelings, to their experiencing, trying to understand them. It's futile to pretend to ourselves that just because we use the same words, we mean the same things by them in a given situation. We all attach different meanings to the same words. And so, for me, what's anger is different to your experience of anger, or all sorts of things. And so we need to gain some clarity. So when you listen to another person, you need to try to understand, well, okay, what do you mean by this? What's happening to you? trying to get a fuller picture. Because that will also tell the other person that you are interested. You actually want to understand them. You don't want any miscommunication. You want to get things right. And when the person is sharing to you, do your best to do what the gospel tells us to do. Do not judge. It's so instantaneous, as I mentioned. As soon as you see somebody, you judge them. And so we're used to judging. We cross the street because we've seen somebody or a group of people together, and we make judgments about them. And again, so it's easy to say do not be judgmental, but to pay attention. What are my judgments? How do I judge this person? On what basis? Be attention simply to what my judgments are, so that I can do something about it. And be a mirror to that person. You're not judging what the person is saying. You're trying to reflect back to them. Okay, so this is what's happening. This is what I'm getting. Is this the right picture I have of you? Are we on the same wavelength here? At the same time, avoid many questions. You're not interrogating somebody. As soon as you start asking questions and bombarding the person, why did you do this? How come? And the list goes on. Well, everyone will switch off. Everyone will put up their defenses and go on the attack, because they will themselves feel under attack. So asking too many questions is not helpful to your ability to understand, to appreciate the other person, and to have respect for them. Some are essential, we need to, but we need to pay attention. And the other thing about yourself is don't get hooked in to somebody else's feelings or emotions. Because the other person might be having a very bad day, they might be very angry, might be depressed, sad. And the point is, when you're listening to them, you don't absorb all this into yourself. So a great listener is not somebody who gets angry just because the person I'm listening to is angry, but I'm able to remain myself. I can understand, I can appreciate you, I can respect you. But that doesn't mean I have to feel the same thing that you're feeling right now, or to agree with you even on various things. And so the art of listening helps us to appreciate that we are very different people. You and I are different. We look at the same world, the same situation, but from a different point of view, and we take different things out of it. It happens again, I'll give another church example, during a homily. A number of times, different people sometimes comment on what they have heard or what they have picked up. Some would say, well, this isn't really for me, this was a bit off, you need to watch your language, it was a bit harsh, or whatever. Say another person coming out from the same mass would come to me and say, Father, this is exactly what I needed to hear. Thank you so much. Now, who is the judge of what is right or what is wrong? Both heard the same thing. How come one person gets bored, the other one gets energized? How come one person believes that their heart has been touched by this, and the other one feels put off? It's all down to me, the individual. It's not the words themselves that are at issue here. It is me, because in that given space and time, this is how I perceive things, this is how I take things in. And that's why it's important, before we learn to listen to other people, we learn to listen to ourselves. We actually are at home with ourselves, with all my feelings, judgments, thoughts, behaviors, so that I am then able to accompany another person, to love them by listening to them attentively, by letting them know that I wish to understand you. So this is the message of the importance of learning to listen to one another. It's not that I will change you in the process. It's about really me living the gospel message. It's about me being faithful to the Lord, who is using me to be his image to you. And that's the mystery we are living when we're doing all these things. Because remember, just because I listen to you doesn't mean you will find it helpful. It doesn't mean that you will change your life and respond to me in a positive way that maybe I would like you to. It doesn't mean any of these things. It simply means I have done what was mine to do. And that's what makes my life fulfilled. And I will be there to support you, to walk alongside you. But you, the other person, are free to respond and to react to me in any way that you do. God respects my freedom. God never forces himself onto me. He doesn't force me to love him. He doesn't force me to listen to him. He doesn't dominate me in any way, shape, or form. And that's what I'm asked to do as well when I listen. It's a great exercise of self-emptying yourself, learning to be non-judgmental, learning to value the person opposite me for who they are. They don't have to do anything else. They don't have to change in order to be valued, just as you don't have to change in order to be valued and loved by God. So there's so much that takes place in those special sacred moments when we actually listen attentively to one another. And so let's pray that we may learn. Let's pray that we will never give up listening. And let's pray that we will actually experience the joys of doing this, the joys of giving love to other people. God bless.